Good afternoon, everyone. It's Sean Glynn here with Q Cannabis, and we have a guest today from Dutchie, John Bond, Director of Strategic Partnerships. He's going to be sitting down with us today and talking a little bit about what Dutchie's doing to help dispensaries not only survive this time as we have to social distance and curtail some of our activities, but also thrive and move on into the future with some of the e-commerce enablement and the other things that Dutchie does. So with that, welcome, John. Thanks for taking some time to meet with us today on our Partner Spotlight.
Absolutely, I appreciate it, Sean. Thanks for having us.
So a little bit of context here. Q Cannabis is a resource for dispensary owners, operators, cultivators, anyone in the flower touching side of the business to find all the software that they need. And we can help you get connected with the best partners. And so we really feel like the things that Dutchie is enabling right now are ultra important in the post-COVID-19 world. And so we just wanted to give them a little bit of airtime here and get them some exposure to our audience out there. So John, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at Dutchie, and then some of Dutchie's background and what you guys are up to today.
Yeah, totally. Obviously, my name's John. Appreciate you guys having us. So I am our Director of Strategic Partnerships. And so essentially what that means is, I work hand in hand with a lot of our integration partners and ancillary partners that we work with. Obviously, it being a super partnership heavy space, it's very important to us that we work with best in class organizations as we bring, what we like to think is a best in class solution to our customers. So in terms of Dutchie, it's not our first rodeo in e-commerce. Our CEO actually started one of the first online food ordering companies in the US when he was like 19 years old while at Michigan State. He ended up dropping out, selling that company to Grubhub 3 years later, and then moved to Canada where he started Grub Canada, which became one of the largest online food ordering companies in Canada for about 4 years running. So we have a ton of experience in scaling a commercial e-commerce platform, consumer facing. And so we brought that experience now to the cannabis space, where we are currently powering online ordering for over 1,100 dispensaries in the US and Canada, both as their embedded menu and with our marketplace, dutchie.com as well.
That's great. I mean, that type of a background, I think, is a key piece to your guys' success. Your founder coming from that Grubhub space, and obviously with things moving more and more towards delivery, I think that's going to be even more important. So really, really nice piece of history there. Let's talk a little bit about delivery as well. So are you seeing anything with your current clients or with prospective clients out there where some of the states that are now allowing delivery, are they getting ramped up with delivery and leveraging Dutchie's capabilities there?
Yeah, absolutely. And even more so now than ever. And the reason I say that is, there's really been no better example of how quickly things can change in terms of the industry than, COVID-19 and all the shelter in place stuff. And the reason I say that is, we saw probably, what would normally take like 2.5 years of regulation. We saw about 2.5 years of regulation change happen about 2 weeks. And an example of that being, states like Colorado going to only online orders being accepted for a period of about 1.5 months there. Nevada going to delivery only for about 1.5 months there. Michigan passing a delivery ordinance on an emergency level that, normally probably would have taken, up to a couple of years to get through legislation. Those are all things that, won't get undone. And so it's really allowed us to support our dispensaries in a way that, whereas online ordering may have been not a huge piece of their business prior to that, now it's a much larger piece of their business and really floating a lot of what is happening there. And so Dutchie having the delivery logistics, suite of tools on the back end that we have has really helped our partners in that side of it.
Yeah, that's excellent. So what states are you seeing as where you're getting the most traction right now? Where are a lot of your customers coming from right now?
We're pretty spread out, pretty even. We have, like I said, 25 states that we operate in the US, plus about 300 dispensaries in Canada. I would say that in terms of deliveries, California has ramped up quite a bit. Nevada ramped up quite a bit. Michigan, obviously, as well too. But it's really across the board. Cannabis being deemed an essential business, we've really seen a massive, massive uptick over the last couple months in terms of the amount of orders that people are placing online versus coming into the store, even in the states where you're still allowed to come into the dispensary.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy how things have changed so fast.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. I mean, the way we've looked at it is, this has always been a fast-paced industry, and really everything has been kind of defined into, you're in one of two groups with everything that's happened. Either you were ready to scale or you weren't, and that's both on the technology side and the dispensary side. And so if you were ready to scale and ready to meet that need, it's, you may have not missed a step and it may have gotten better for you, but obviously we know there's plenty of groups out there that, weren't quite ready for that. And so we were very fortunate on our end that, from an infrastructure standpoint, we've been built very well, both through like a technological standpoint and like support, account management and everything like that. We've been able to still uphold the same level of service to all of our customers, and we're super stoked about it.
Yeah. And, I can echo that statement because in order for us at Q to recommend a partner like dutchie, we do quite a bit of research, and talking with your clients, current and prospective, and making sure that all those bases are covered. And you guys have consistently ranked very highly in all of those conversations with folks. So again, Q doesn't allow anyone on our marketplace. We like to have the best in class, and dutchie definitely fits that bill. So happy to be working with you guys.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I've been hearing in conversations with clients is this is a time where they really are taking a step back from all their different operations, and they really want to take a hard look and make everything as efficient as possible. What type of advice do you have to those business operators, especially as it relates to the things that dutchie does, like e-commerce, enablement, and delivery?
We've always been very strong of the stance that, we want to focus on one thing and do it insanely well, and then integrate with other best-in-class technologies, because as everyone knows that works in the space, cannabis is extremely fragmented in terms of the restrictions that are placed on the business. Obviously, those change from state to state. Your ability to shop is different, purchase limits, everything like that. And so, it hasn't always been that way. A lot of people that may have come from another space are used to those one-stop shops. And while, we have a team of incredibly talented people, we've been, fanatically focused on doing, e-commerce the absolute best. So we have a best-in-class solution, because what we've seen, not just in cannabis, but in other spaces as well, if we take our focus or our eye off the ball and that core competency, it will actually take away from how great we can be on the e-commerce side of it. And so, we also really like the idea that partnership-based approach creates a ton more accountability on the individual partners, right? Because if you're using Upspear e-commerce, we integrate with every major point of sale. We integrate with, a couple different texting and loyalty platforms. If for some reason dutchie isn't living up to that standard, it's very easy to move in another direction, versus if we were handling all three of those for you and you really liked two of them, that puts you in kind of a precarious spot as a dispensary. And so what we found is being able to seamlessly, integrate and streamline those processes to function as one system, but also offer our product at a price point to where it makes it a no-brainer. And knowing that there are other systems that need to support it has been, I think, a huge part of, our ability to get to the level of success we've had in supporting our customers so far.
Yeah. Absolutely. I would totally agree. If anyone says that they can do all those things well, they're probably not telling the truth, right? It's just too fragmented. And, like you mentioned, across different states, the variability in the regulations is it's extreme in some cases. So yeah, it's really important to have some flexibility as a business operator to be able to work with the best in breed in each of the different categories, or, and find the right partners that operate really well in one, maybe two lanes, and then, put together a holistic solution that leverages the best in all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, if you think about it, every dispensary, while they might be similar in, in look and feel and maybe even like branding going state to state, every shop has a different individual need in terms of how they run their business. And so being able to fit into that mold or that meshing with what they have currently going on has been a huge piece of what we wanted to bring to the table. Because again, you might handle something different at dispensary A than dispensary B does, even though your customer base is similar, your products are similar. And so we want to put as little pressure on our dispensary partners as possible to have to make a decision of, well, I want to work with this company, but I only like 2 of the 3 things that they do. And so it makes it much easier for us to communicate value there.
Yep, absolutely. So what are some of the key features that dutchie offers, and then anything on the roadmap that you want to highlight today?
We've got a couple different things. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you that, there's really nothing proprietary about e-commerce. People have been doing it for a long time. Now, I will say that there are absolutely companies that are able to shorten that path of, from the time somebody decides they want to buy something to when they actually pull the trigger on it. And, without going into too much detail, that's something we pride ourselves on. We release things in a very quick manner, like, for example, curbside notifications and arrivals as a feature when, everyone went to shelter in place and states started allowing curbside. Something else that's been a big thing for our partners is the ability to have scheduled orders for pickup and delivery. So, obviously knowing that most dispensaries handle a lot of their deliveries themselves, it can actually result in a negative customer experience if you get, your first 300 delivery orders at the beginning of the day, and you can only fill 100 of them because of the way you have it staffed. You're going to have 200 upset customers. And so we've done things like, being able to build in order limits, by time slot of that scheduled order to where you'll only accept X amount of orders to support the amount of staff operationally that you have on hand to do that. And so some small things like that make a massive impact. And we've also got some other things coming down the line as well that we're really excited about to help identify a lot of the KPIs and ROI based things that dispensaries are looking at and determining whether or not, they're achieving their goals as well.
Yes. So is that along the lines of retail optimization based on what you're seeing through your platform and the data flows?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from a data perspective, and then even something, to the effect of, providing like a heat map for deliveries, right? I mean, obviously we do a ton of pickups, so pickup's kind of the no-brainer, right? Where everything's moving in the industry will eventually be towards a delivery side of things. Now, whether that's, today, a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever, but, like a delivery heat map showing where you're receiving the most orders. And so knowing where you can parse your time out or set maybe your delivery zones to reflect that, as well as, the amount of orders that you're willing to take in that area will help you really kind of fine tune your business in terms of the approach there.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are key features. So thanks for sharing those.
Totally.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's more of kind of a, just a industry question, something general. I just wanted to get your take on it, given your role and, your access to the whole ecosystem from dispensary owners to all the different integration partners you have. But, how do you see the cannabis industry fitting into the global recovery going forward?
A couple different ways. Honestly, from a social standpoint, it's been really great to see that we're able to still get people their medicine in a timely manner, and dispensaries are able to stay open because, without diving too deep into my feelings again with big pharma and stuff like that, there's a lot of people, that you're using cannabis as a medicine for a particular ailment. And so that's going to continue. That trend is going to continue. I think, in fact, there's been a higher importance placed on that. I think it also, from an economic standpoint, there's a lot of businesses that haven't had the fortune of staying open over the last couple months. And so the ability to keep people working and keep people moving and really just provide an outlet for people to get some, sense of positivity in a world where a lot of things may not be the most positive at present, has been a massive piece to that. And so our role in that is trying to simplify our piece of it as much as possible, because we know at the end of the day, like, online ordering, and the tech platforms, even outside of online ordering, that you use to support your business could be the best platform and solution in the world. But if it's difficult to use and it takes more time out of your day to use it, then it's all for naught. It actually is a negative thing. And so, we found that our ability to simplify that has aided in that process, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. Yeah, and one thing I've always really enjoyed about the cannabis industry is just the sense of community that's created here. And I definitely see Dutchie fitting into that really nicely. And this is one of the reasons why I like this industry is because of that sense of community and, also grassroots, right? Grassroots activism and, getting laws changed for the better, for the good of society. I think, that's close to my heart and being a part of a community that has those aspirations and has the ability to make change in our society in these times right now. So,
yeah, I mean, that's always been huge for us. And especially, I've always said this to people, but almost everyone that's working in, I would call it commercial cannabis, meaning the legal cannabis industry, probably came from somewhere else at some point, working in some other industry. And, in cannabis, you'll find a common denominator there that you don't find in many other industries in terms of like things that people have in common or that motivate them and a passion for the industry. Whether it's, the culture around the cannabis industry, whether it's the medicinal value of the plant, whether it's, the ability to be a part of the fastest growing industry that, we've seen in our lifetime. That's all. There's a place for all of those people within the cannabis space, almost like working in professional sports, right? Everyone that's working in professional sports is there because they love it so much that, they're willing to do it. And the same type of thing with cannabis, right? And there's always someone willing to, take an opportunity for in a financially driven society for, a far less, or even more in some points, but, the ability to say like, hey, I'm a part of something that I can get behind, that I don't feel like I'm dragging myself out of bed every day. And we work really hard to continue to instill that culture because it's a huge piece of it.
Yeah, excellent. Well, that was all I had for you today, John. Was there anything else you wanted to share with the audience?
No, obviously we are continuing to bring on dispensary partners at a pretty aggressive clip. We're really excited to be able to grow with the industry. We've got some really cool things without, giving too much away coming in the next couple months that are going to really revolutionize the consumer shopping experience, from like being able to, have focused, shopping behaviors and things of that nature, as well as like the ability within our marketplace to do some pretty cool things. And so keep an eye out for us over the next few months. And obviously, if you're a dispensary that is in need or maybe has a solution already, we always tell people we recommend that everyone uses every online ordering avenue that they can if it's going to make them money versus what they're paying for it, and it's not going to be a pain to implement. And so even if you have a solution currently, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you about it and have you featured, on our platform for the consumers to find you.
Yeah, that's a great point. We'll keep our eyes peeled. Really happy to be working with you guys and everything that you're doing. And we'll definitely make sure that we're getting any potential clients over to you. And I think it goes back to that point we were talking about, is like right now is a really good time to take a look at all of your aspects of your operations, especially anything that touches the customer and allows them to purchase from you easier and in a safe manner. I think it's ultra important. So I think that was the main reason why I wanted to get you guys spotlighted here today. So really appreciate your time today, John, and best of luck to you guys. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you having us. You have a good rest of your day as well.
All right. Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Take care.